Okay, good afternoon again to everybody, even though I'm not the official greeter. I said that before, but now what we would like to do to officially begin this portion of the program is to do the Black National Anthem. And you all have copies of it at your tables. And for those of you who maybe there's not enough copies, the lyrics are also on the screen. So we would like for all of you to stand up. And we're going to sing not one, not two, but all three verses, which makes it kind of long. Sing it like you mean it. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, might, yeah, you all sound good. Oh yeah, in the path we pray, lest our feet places or yes, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Excellent, excellent. We're going to call Dr. Mumba Mumba to the podium to officially welcome you.
Welcome everyone to the 2025 MLK celebration. I want to specifically welcome our president, our administrators, our faculty, our staff, our wonderful students. I also want to welcome our community members. I also want to especially welcome our esteemed keynote speaker, Ms. Deborah Pitts. Just to give you a very tiny background, we have held the Martin Luther King event here on campus for the past 10 years. It's quite unbelievable. And it's because we believe in the significance of Martin Luther King's work. The Multicultural Retention and Recruitment Mover team is actually behind the planning and the organizing of this wonderful event. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize the amazing work of my colleagues. So my colleagues, as I call on your name just to thank you for what you're doing, please stand up so that the audience can recognize you. So Mr. Gerard Hennings, Ms. Maya Lawrence, Ms. Crystal Robinson, Dr. Sean Hill, Ms. Yvette McLemore, Dr. Sharice Johnson Jackson, I apologize, Ms. Stacy Westfall Heron. All of these are part of this mover team. Please help me give them a rousing applause. Based on the powerful work of Dr. King, here at Lewis and Clark, we will continue to honor Dr. King's consistent message of justice and embrace his unwavering determination of hope and the belief that all people deserve freedom and equality. As we listen to different speeches today, we believe that Dr. King's optimism and his hope will cut across all the different readings. I hope we will keep his word close to our hearts. At the same time, his words are going to move us to action. In the words of Dr. King, in his speech, Give Us the Ballot, given at the prayer pilgrimage for freedom, he reminds us by saying, let us not despair. Let us realize that as we struggle for justice and freedom, we have cosmic companionship. Never despair. Never give up. Never feel that the cause of righteousness and justice is doomed.
A significant aspect of this program has always been the involvement of students. I mean, obviously, we work at an educational institution. It's always great to have their involvement, their participation, and it's something that I do not take for granted. So I definitely want to thank them. They look so good. They look like they are ready to present these various excerpts. And so as they are standing here, which is the way that you will receive them, first is Charles Irvin. Come forward. This is Charles. Charles is a freshman from Florissant, Missouri. He's studying engineering science, and he's a member of our, and he's a member of our men's basketball team, Charles Irvin. Vondasia Pittman. Vondasia is from Godfrey. She's majoring in, as she told me a couple of days ago, not just accounting, she's majoring in accounting. She's majoring in accounting. She's a member of FBLA, which is called the Future Business Leaders of America. She's also a member, which she informed me, she's a member of PTK, which means that she is really using a lot of her exclusive gray matter She has a minimum of a 3.5 grade point average, Phi Theta Kappa. Foundation Pittman. Montrez West. Montrez is a sophomore from Edwardsville. And what I didn't realize, Edwardsville is known, the high school is known to be proficient in a variety of athletics, a variety of sports. And I didn't realize that Montrez plays baseball here, which means that he has to be very proficient on the diamond. Now, I would assume that Montrez, and I haven't asked him about this, I would assume that you're either a shortstop or a second baseman. He says, no, he's an outfielder. So since you're an outfielder, I would probably guess that you are a center fielder. He plays anywhere but right field. So, I'm sorry. He's starting in right field. So this is Montrez West. He is taking general studies and will excel on the baseball field this coming year. Montrez West. Naila Simmons. Naila is a freshman. She's from Alton. She is studying for her Associates of Arts degree. She's a member of our video game club. Her future plans are to attend Webster University or SIUE, pursuing media. For those of you from Alton, she has a look of someone that you all know from this community. I mean, she looks just like her two twin brothers. She looks like her daddy. I don't know her older brother. I don't know what he looks like. But I did say her last name is Simmons, which means that should be an indication as far as who her daddy is. This is Naila Simmons.
This is The Other America by Dr. Martin Luther King. By 1967, war, racism, and poverty had become the dominant issues confronting America and the freedom movement. On April 4th, Dr. King forcefully speaks out against the Vietnam War with Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence, delivered at Riverside Church in New York City. 10 days later, in a speech at Stanford University titled The Other America, Dr. King addresses race, poverty, and economic injustice. At various times in 1967 and 68, he gave slightly different versions of The Other America to other audiences. It is said that on the Statue of Liberty that America is the home of the exiles. It doesn't take us long to realize that America has been the home of its white exiles from Europe, but it has not yet evinced the same kind of maternal care and concern for its black exiles from Africa. It is no wonder that in one of his sorrow songs, the Negro could sing, "Sometimes I feel like a motherless child." What great estrangement, what great sense of rejection caused that people to emerge with such a metaphor as they looked over their lives. What I'm trying to get across is that our nation has constantly taken a positive step forward on the question of racial justice and racial equality. But over and over again at the same time, it made certain backward steps. And this has been the persistence of the so-called white backlash. In 1863, the Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery, but at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make freedom meaningful. And at the same time, same period, America was given millions of acres of land in the West and Midwest, which meant that America was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor that would make it possible to grow and develop, and refused to give that same economic floor to its black peasants, so to speak. This is why Frederick Douglass could say that the emancipation for Negro was freedom to hunger, freedom to the winds and rains of heaven, freedom without roofs to cover their heads. He went on to say that it was freedom without bread to eat, freedom without land to cultivate, It was freedom and famine at the same time, but it does not stop there.
I want to remind the students that even though we have a microphone here, that you need to kind of sort of use your outside voice.
As we look at these problems, we see them growing and developing every day. We see the fact that the Negro economically is facing a depression in his everyday life that is more staggering than the depression of the 30s. The unemployment rate of the nation as a whole is about 4%. Statistics would say from the Department of Labor that among Negroes it's about 8.4%. But these are the people who are in the labor market, who still go to employment agencies to seek jobs so they can be calculated. The statistics can be gotten because they are still somehow in the labor market. But there are hundreds of thousands of Negroes who have given up. They've lost hope. They've come to feel that life is a long, desolate corridor for them with no exit sign, and so they no longer go to look for a job. There are those who would estimate that these persons who are called the discouraged people are about 6 or 7% in the Negro community. That means that unemployment among Negroes may as well be 16%. Among our Negro youth in some of our larger urban areas, it goes up to 30 and 40%. So you can see what I mean when I say that in the Negro community, there is a major, tragic, and staggering depression that we face in our everyday lives. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see, now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, is that racism is still alive in American society, and much more widespread than we ever realized. We must see racism for what it is. It is a myth of the superior and the inferior race. It is the false and tragic notion that one particular group, one particular race is responsible for all the progress, all the insights, and the total flow of history. And the theory that another group or another race is totally depraved, innately impure, and innately inferior. In the final analysis, racism is evil because its ultimate logic is genocide. Hitler was a sick and tragic man who carried racism to its logical conclusion. He ended up leading a nation to the point of killing 6 million Jews. This is the tragedy of racism because its ultimate logic is genocide. If one says that I'm not good enough to live next door to him, if one says that I'm not good enough to eat at a lunch counter or to have a good, decent job or to go to school with him merely because of my race, he is saying consciously or unconsciously that I do not deserve to exist.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was imprisoned in a Birmingham jail in August of 1963. Because he participated in nonviolent demonstrations, he wrote in longhand the letter which follows. I would like to answer your statement in what I hope will be patient and reasonable terms. I think I should give the reason for my being in Birmingham, since you have been influenced by the argument of outsiders coming in. I have the honor of serving as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization operating in every southern state with headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Several months ago, our local chapter here in Birmingham invited us to be on the call to engage in a nonviolent direct action program, if one was necessary. We consented, and when the hour came, we lived up to our promises. I am in Birmingham because injustice is here. I cannot sit idly by in Atlanta and not be concerned about what happens in Birmingham. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. In any nonviolent campaign, there are 4 basic steps. 1, determine whether injustices are alive. 2, negotiation. 3, self-purification. And 4, direct action. We have gone through all of the steps in Birmingham. There can be no guessing of the fact that racial injustice engulfs this community. Birmingham is probably the most thoroughly segregated city in the United States. Its ugly record of police brutality is known in every section of this country. Its unjust treatment of Negroes in the courts is a notorious reality. There have been more unsolved bombings of Negro homes and churches in Birmingham than in any other city in this nation. These are the hard, brutal, and unbelievable facts.
Testing? Okay, we're good. This is a poem by Maya Angelou, Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? just 'cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't take it awful hard just 'cause I laugh, as I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welding and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, I rise, I rise, I rise.
Students, would you all stand and just kind of come to the front of the stage, please? Would you all join in giving them a warm round of applause? I do not take for granted that they take this opportunity to share their gift, to expound on these words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but it is so important to have their involvement in this. It just makes the program as complete and as whole as possible. Again, I thank you all extremely. Thank you. This song that we're going to do it's a spiritual, and everybody probably has heard of it. It's called Still Away. But this arrangement, in case, I know there are a lot of you out in the audience that know Brenda Lancaster. So if you see her in the community, could you make sure that you tell her that we did not sing this today? Because this is her arrangement. But no, I'm joking. She won't mind at all. But this is an arrangement by her of this song called Still Away. Still away, still away to Jesus, still away, still away. Ain't got long to stay. That's why we're singing Still Away, still away to Jesus, still away. Still away. I ain't got long to my Lord, he calls me. He calls me by the thunder. Yes, he does. The trumpet sounds within my soul. I ain't got long to stay. That's why we're singing, still away, still away to Jesus, still away, still away. I ain't got long to stay. Green trees are bending. Those sinners, the sinners stand there trembling. Yes, they are. The trumpet sounds within my soul. I ain't got long to stay. That's why we're singing, still away, still away to Jesus, still away, still away. I ain't got long to stay. I ain't got long. I ain't got long to stay. Do you hear my song? I ain't got long to stay.
Thank you, Jared and Mr. Raff. They won't let me sing, but I understand why. So, I want to again wish you guys a happy afternoon, happy MLK event, and thank you guys for coming to Lewis and Clark Community College. My name is Sharice Jackson, and I'm the Vice President of Student Affairs, and I have the honor of introducing Ms. Deb Pitts. Now, I will say I was a little afraid earlier when I went to introduce myself. She gave me strict instructions. However, her cheering squad and her support team tell me that if she gets on me, that they'll support me. So I'm looking for support down at this table. So again, I want to introduce our guest speaker, Ms. Deborah J. Pitts. She was born in Gary, Indiana, and raised in Chicago, Illinois. She graduated from Roosevelt High School in 1971. She earned her General Administrator Certification, Master's in Science, and Bachelor's in Science degrees from Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville. Ms. Pitts is a veteran educator. She served 31 amazing years at Alton School District. So, thank you for your service. 8 of those years, she served as principal of Civic Memorial High School. She also served in other capacities. She was assistant principal, dean of students, the guidance counselor, special education teacher. She also coached volleyball, basketball, track, cheerleading, and pom-pom. So it sounds like she has an effect on all students in every capacity. She has also held other teaching positions at East Middle School, Central Junior High, and Alton High School. Her other honors include, and I will say she is a very humble woman, so her many honors and awards include YWCA 1998 Women of Distinction, 100 Black Men of Alton Incorporated, Honorary Chairperson, Inroads Educator of the Year, Lewis and Clark's Upward Bound Outstanding Contributor, SIU E Recognition of Excellence in Teaching, the Federated United Club of Alton, Elijah P. Lovejoy Human Rights Award, Edwardsville Branch NAACP, Illinois State NAACP Conference Chair, the National Council of Negro Women Outstanding Contributor, but also 2008 Rock Solid Rock Award, the Illinois State Board of Education, Those Who Excel Recognition, Madison County Urban League Community Service Award. In 2013, she earned the Bethalto Rotary Paul Harris Fellow Award, Peabody Leadership Education Award. In 2012, the Madison County Living Legend Award, which I would have to concur after it's more. So, Edwardsville Branch of the NAACP President's Award, 2018 Grand Marshal for the Village of Glen Carbon, 2013 Homecoming Parade, the Commerce Bank Community Service Award, the 2024, and $10,000 was donated to the Alton Boys and Girls Club. And most recently, she received the Mayor of Alton Hometown Royalty Award as a retired educator and youth advocate. Not only has she held these amazing, I think she's cutting me off. Oh, okay, now let me hurry up and read. Okay, so she has also held previous and current positions in her community in various capacities, including the Edwardsville Parks and Recreation Chair, the Illinois State University Association's Executive Committee. She is a proud member of Mount Joy Missionary Baptist Church in Edwardsville, where she serves as the church clerk, the usher board, the usher board, missionary society, and the choir. She is currently, she served on the Illinois High School Association Board of Directors and the Edwardsville Faith in Action Board President. She is recognized as a strong youth advocate who takes interest in not only their academics, but their social and emotional development. She is warm-hearted, committed to the excellence of all students, and a team player. She has two mottos. She has, if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. And what about the children? Please join me in welcoming Ms. Deb Pitts.
I'll be nice because my pastor is here. But thank you very much. Thank you. And I'd just like to say this. Jared Hennings is not only a vocalist. Jared Hennings and I were in a play at Alton Little Theater, 87, 94, somewhere back there. So you know that we're old. Okay. Good afternoon, Trailblazers. Good afternoon, Trailblazers. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Trailblazers. And I know you're wondering why I'm saying Trailblazers, because everyone can prepare ways for others to follow. So you're a trailblazer, whether you want to be or not. I know this is Lewis and Clark's mascot. They're trailblazers, am I correct? So remember that you're a trailblazer. Thank you to President Traska for allowing the Multicultural Engagement Team to host this planning event. Thanks to Dr. Jackson, Dr. Hill, Dr. Mumba, Jerry Hennings, Maya Lawrence, Yvette McLemore, Crystal Robinson, and Stacy Westfall Heron. Let's give them another applause. Thank you to everyone here this afternoon. I appreciate people of all walks of life, and look at us, fellowshipping with one another. Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Look around at all of the talent and gifts in this room. Just take a minute to look around. Everyone has a talent and a gift, and because you're a trailblazer. We can do great things in our community, and it takes teamwork. When you talk about teamwork, or when I thought about teamwork, I saw this poster in one of the school buildings, and it says, teamwork is together we can. Didn't say together I can, it said together we can. We can achieve great results. We can break down barriers. We can promote positive reinforcements. We can discover the perfect solution. We can bring excitement to every day. We can make an impact on the community. We can educate one another, help those in need, and make a difference. Through teamwork, all things are possible. Do you hear me, trailblazers? All things are possible. I want to share a little bit about my presentation. My friend just told me today, said, Deborah, I can't believe you bringing that laptop. Well, she's a perfectionist, and I just do. So I thought about doing a PowerPoint or allowing her to fix me up a PowerPoint or whatever you do with it. And she says, because you know that technology and you might lose something. But I told her, I said, don't worry about it because I have my papers. She knows that I'm old school, so I didn't prepare a PowerPoint because I didn't want you looking at the PowerPoint and not looking at me. Okay? So what I'm going to start off talking about, it's going to be a hodgepodge. Some of you know that I send out about 15 texts in the morning, and I send inspirational quotes to people. After I read my daily bread and post that message on Facebook, then I send out my inspirational quotes. And I have people in the audience that send inspirational quotes to me. So I put that together. That's my professional piece is going to be here. Then I use some quotes from, professional people. I'm using their quotes, and personal, what people sent me. So just don't be alarmed, just follow me. I was born by the river in a little tent. And oh, just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Dr. King, change. Yes, Dr. King wanted change, not for himself. He wanted change for everyone. In times such as these, what would Dr. Martin Luther King do? In times such as these, what would Dr. Martin Luther King do? And my question, what are we doing? What are we doing? Dr. King was a man concerned about change for others, the community, the world. And I thought about the word change, C-H-A-N-G-E. And I'll share with you what I thought about. C, Dr. King was courageous. He was charismatic. He was caring. He was a change agent. And most of all, he was compassionate. Dr. King once stated the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in moments of challenges and controversy. He stood in times of challenges and controversy. Where are we standing?
All right.
Where are we standing? H, he was honest, honorable, he was a hero, he was helpful, he had a heart of gold, he saw an unjust situation and tried to make change. A, he was articulate, attentive, aggressive, active, and an advocate for all, an advocate for all. And he was noble, nice, nurturing, and he never gave up. G, I call him a genius. He was grateful, he had a gift for God, and always giving of himself. E, he was earnest, he was an eloquent speaker, ethical, he was an encourager, he was very energetic and enthusiastic about, again, all people. Martin Luther King had a purpose for change, a passion for change, and he persevered for change. Now, when I raise my hand, I want you to say, what are we doing? Okay? Had Dr. King not been gunned down, he would have celebrated his 96th birthday. 96th birthday. What have we done in the last 40 years, and I know some of you here are not 40. What are some of the things that we've done to bring about change? Where have we stood in times of challenges and controversies? What are we still fighting for? What have we fought for? The betterment, have we fought for the betterment of our community? Are we still fighting? Bottom line, what have you done for others lately?
What are we?
Martin Luther King wanted to serve, not to be served. Which one are you? When we talk about serving, I always call people when I need something. And I have a friend, and I don't think he's in the audience. I don't know, because I don't think he's here. But anyway, I would call him. Someone needed a place to stay or something. I can't remember. But I call this gentleman every time I need something. I'll say, well, I'll check with my friend. And some of you know I use that term all the time. Well, that's my friend. I can call him and ask him for something. So I said to him, I usually call on him frequently, and he shared something with me that has resonated with me over 8 or 9 months. I sent him something and I said, I need something, can you help? I said, sorry that I always bother you. He texted me back and said, Deborah, that's what we're supposed to be on this earth for, to help each other. That's what he said to me. So what I want you to keep in mind is help when you can, be there when you can, encourage when you can. A truly happy life comes from giving more than you take. I'd like to share a couple things I pulled off the internet about Dr. Martin Luther King, and there were 5 things that they wanted people to know about him. Martin Luther King Jr. was named after the Protestant reformer Martin Luther. And we heard earlier that he entered college at the age of 15. So King skipped 2 grades and entered college at the age of 15. He was admitted to Morehouse College in 1944 and graduated in 1948. That was before my time. With a bachelor's at the age of 19, the Morehouse president, Benjamin Mays, became an inspirational figure in King's life. Can you imagine being arrested? And I won't ask how many people in here have been arrested, because that's too much. But King was arrested 29 times, 29. His charges range from civil disobedience to traffic violations. How many of us could see ourselves being arrested for someone else? For someone else. Dr. King survived an assassination attempt a decade before his death. On September 20th, 1958, he was at the Bloomstein department store in Harlem, and he was doing a book signing, and a lady by the name of Isola Curry came up and asked him if he was the real Martin Luther King. And after he said yes, she thrusted a 7-inch letter opener into his chest, because Curry claims that she had been after him for 5 years because she thought he had ties to a communist party. After King's death, the family filed a civil case against the government and won. And now the King family was awarded $100, which they donated it to the charity. How many of us could visualize being arrested 29 times? Martin Luther King was a leader, and we all know that. And something that he stated a while, and we could take this up if we feel that we're leaders, he stated that we need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. Yeah. Not in love with publicity. You know how we are when we say, oh, I'm going to be on the front page. But in love with humanity. Again, what are we doing? What do you want people to remember about you? In 1 Peter 4:10, it says, each of you, and I'm saying us, should use whatever gifts we have received to serve others as faithful steward of God's grace in its various form. Dr. King served others. What are we doing? Who are we serving? Dr. King stated, and someone I think said this earlier, we must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. We have to remember we need each other. What I'm asking you to be is just be a good person. Love who you can, help where you can, give what you can. Love isn't what you always say. Love is what you do. Another quote Martin Luther King states says, use me, God. Show me how to take who I am, who I want to be, and what I can do and use it for a purpose greater than myself. Wow. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? We should, Dr. King was a change maker. And he stated, whenever you're in a position to help someone, be glad and always do it. That's God's answering someone else's prayer through you. As a reminder, Mother Teresa said, not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things, things with great love. We're not all the same. I think I stated earlier that we're from all walks of life. The time is now to start making a change for the betterment of our community. Arthur Ashe stated, start where you are. That means we can start today. Use what you have. We all have different gifts, different things. Do what you can. Will we get knocked down? Absolutely. We must continue to stand for what you believe. As Maya Angelou said, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. We must stand together. I saw a commercial on television, and Dr. King was on this commercial. I don't know if you've seen it recently, but it says, what's in your life's blueprint? Have you ever thought of your blueprint? What would it look like? We all know what Dr. King's blueprint looked like. Are you about change? Are you about equal rights for all? Are you giving, loving, caring? Are you making a difference? Are you standing for what's right, seeing something unjust and saying something? And you know, John Lewis said that. If you see something, say something. Are we not judging people by the color of their skin? And most of all, are we serving others? What's on your blueprint? In these times, what would Dr. Martin Luther King do? What are we doing? As I close, I'd just like to say, and for you to remember, and there's a bookmarker on your table. I know you can't see it because I had it run off on purple paper, so you can't really read it, and I'll read it to you so you'll know what it says. But someone sent that quote, that inspirational message to me, and I thought it was so befitting for today. So I wanted to share it with you. And it says, the adventure of life is to learn. The goal of life is to grow. The nature of life is to change. The challenge of life is to overcome. The essence of life is to care. The secret of life is to dare. The beauty of life is to give. And the joy of life is to love. So I hope that you remember a couple of these things. And on the back of the bookmark, it says, it's Martin Luther King. I didn't want to put my name on there because I don't want you to remember me. I want you to remember you. And you need to ask yourself during this time, what are we doing as Martin Luther King did for us? Maybe on your blueprint, you could find some of the accolades that I shared with you about Martin Luther King. But you need to ask yourself, what am I doing? I want to challenge you to do 4 things. I think it's 4. I want you to mentor a young adult, mentor a senior citizen, attend the school board meetings, attend the county board members or the city board members. Which one is it? No, I want your hometown. City council meeting. And why am I asking you to do that? I want you to get out and do some things for your community. How can we help our kids if we don't attend the school board meetings? Sorry, school board. How can we know about what changes we need to help make in our community if we don't attend the city council meetings? How can we do anything without trying to mentor a child? And since I'm in the senior bracket, we need mentors for seniors. So today, as I close, I want you to remember, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. In these times, what would Martin Luther King do? In these times, what are we doing? What's in your life's blueprint? Thank you.
Let's give Deborah Pitts another round of applause. You know, Deborah Pitts is the reason why all of you are here, obviously. As Dr. Mumba had mentioned, this Martin Luther King celebration has been planned for over the last 10 years. And though lately we've had a template that seems to work really well, and that is that we try to reach out to accomplished people in our community to be the keynote addresser. About 3 years ago, well, 2 years ago, we had Sheila Goins, and that was followed up last year by his name's not Bone, by Al Womack, and this year we had Deborah Pitts. So that just seems to be the template that we are going to continue moving forward. But you know, when I think about Deborah Pitts, I mean, obviously everybody knows her because of the experience that she's had within the school system. If you're a resident of the Riverbend area and you live in Alton, you live in Godfrey, you live in Bethalto, you live in Glen Carbon, you live in Edwardsville, you know about Deborah Pitts. But now, the one aspect, I know that there is this old adage that you've heard from time to time, is that to really know somebody, you have to follow in their footsteps. You have to wear their shoes, which is kind of means you go to where they go. About 2 or 3 Fridays ago, I went to Edwardsville High School and to watch Alton High play Edwardsville. And I saw Deborah. She was in the hallway, and so we greeted each other, we hugged. And then later on, we were sitting next to each other in the gymnasium. And so while I had seen her in the hallway, and then while we were sitting together in the gymnasium, there were just these countless people that kept coming up to her and greeting her and showering her with love. And she was doing the same. And I'm thinking, is there anybody around that Deborah Pitts does not know? I mean, and I was starting to feel some kind of way because I'm feeling like a rock star because I'm sitting next to her, and people are probably thinking, hey, he must be somebody because he's sitting next to Deborah Pitts. But I was thinking that sure, people know that she's affable and she's genuine and she has demonstrated impact. But I think the other aspect of her is that she has lived by the creed of what can she do to help somebody. And I think that is probably the most important aspect about who she is. And so she kind of stole my thunder a little bit because if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody he is traveling wrong, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. If I I can help somebody as I pass alone, then my living shall not be in vain. If I can do my duty as a good man ought, if I can bring back beauty to a world abroad, if I can share love's message as the Master taught, then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. Then my living shall not be in vain. If I can help somebody as I pass alone, then my living shall not, then my living shall not, then my living shall not be in vain. I think that you all have had enough of me for today. One last aspect to this day, there is information relative to our Black History Month calendar. There's information on the screen. All of our events are available and accessible and open to all of you. So if you look and there's something that you want to come to campus to check out, feel free. I would probably like to place a little bit more emphasis on a couple of events. One is on the 5th, which is, I guess that's next Thursday. Everybody probably knows about Big George Brock Jr. He is an expert in blues, and so he's going to be performing here on the 5th. Another event that you probably want to at least be aware of, on the 11th, there is a dance troupe called the Community Performance Art Ensemble from East St. Louis. They're going to be here. They're going to be presenting information relative to different styles of dance from different countries in the continent. And then the other event that you want to check out, I mean, everybody knows Eric Robinson, and he is an authority based on Black history in this community. He's doing something different this year for our tour. We've had Eric, probably this has been at least 10 years, and so he's going to be conducting a tour that speaks to navigating the freedom seekers, and as they crossed over the Mississippi River, as they came to our community, and they went to Middletown, and then they went to Brighton. And so that's going to be something new that he is going to explore. And so for that particular activity, all that you need to, and my number is there, that's February the 20th, I would just need to have reservations, because what we do, we will have a charter bus. And so if that's something that you want to check out, then feel free to take advantage of that. And that's basically it. But no, definitely feel free to look at any of the events, any of the activities that you see here. If it's something that you want to take part in, then just come to those times and those dates. Again, we most humbly thank you all for coming to this event, because this event means something to all of us that are involved in planning it. So without further ado, I can see that she's trying to get me to stop talking. Maya Lawrence, our Director of Diversity Inclusion, and the best title on campus, and excellence.
I forgot the last part. Thank you, Jerry. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who came out. We greatly appreciate your participation. We greatly appreciate the community coming to our events here on campus. It's important to us that we build these relationships and that we have our community come and speak to our students. So I just wanted to thank you all. As Jared said, my name is Maya Lawrence, and I am the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusive Excellence. So I'm just gonna run through a list of thank yous while I have your attention. So first, I would like to thank Ms. Pitts. That was absolutely amazing. Can we please give her another round of applause? Our students, thank you so much for having the courage to speak today. I know that wasn't easy. We had over 200 people in attendance, so thank you so much. Mr. Monroe and Jared, thank you for the live entertainment. We greatly appreciate it. And last but not least, I really need to thank the multicultural engagement team. These are the people who come together to make these events for us. Mr. Jared Hennings has been at the helm of this group for several years, and we greatly appreciate his leadership. Dr. Sharice Jackson, Dr. Sean Hill, Yvette McLemore, Crystal Robinson, Dr. Mumba Mumba, and Stacy Westfall Heron. Without these people, this event could not have happened, so thank you all so much. And as you all leave today, please remember Ms. Pitt's words as we are walking out of here, and let's take it out into the world. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.